Hold up. Yeah.
Hey guys, getting a real quick video in. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that I did today with the business. There's a lot going on since the new location just opened. But I think I'm gonna try to add some structure to the videos, especially the all things greasy videos, which are kind of the ones where I talk about the actual business and what's happening in the business. So in this video, I want to go over relabeling a brand or rebranding a store. I'm going to talk a little bit about the necessary registrations you have to do when you're registering a new business, and I'm going to talk about invoicing. So the first thing that is going on today is I had to register the Pittsburgh location with the state of Pennsylvania. I had to request a sales and use tax number. Well, actually, let me even take a step before that. You have to register for a revenue ID first with the PA 100 form. The corporation's registered in Pennsylvania, so I don't have to do any foreign corporation registration like I did with Quick Change. But so the corporation files a PA 100 form. The Department of State will then issue you a revenue ID number. Your revenue ID number then is attached to the corporation, and you can apply for any kind of other tax numbers that you need. The ones that I have to get, because I have employees, I need workers' comp, I need unemployment. Because we sell products, we need a sales and use tax number, and then income tax, corporate income tax. So I applied for those today. You can do business before you get them, at least in Pennsylvania. Maryland's a little bit different story. They get a little pissy if you don't have all your stuff before you open business, and that's why Maryland's not a fantastic state to do business in, at least compared to Pennsylvania. I took care of all that today at Starbucks. I went to my office. The Westminster Postal Service is still delivering other people's mail to my office. I feel bad because some of it's important stuff. Like, literally, I'm getting sent checks that are supposed to be going to other people in my office. I've reached out to the Postal Service. The carrier just doesn't seem to care, and it just seems like the office, the Westminster office, doesn't care either. But it just gives, it's a hassle when you got so many things going on. You don't want to be chasing down other people, so you make sure they get their mail. But yeah, I decided not to work in my office today. I went to the Starbucks, and I was there for a good chunk of time. It's so easy to do work in Starbucks. I really enjoy working from Starbucks. And obviously other people do, because there's always people doing work there. A lot of people read there. It's just, it's nice to be around other people, especially when you're in your office for so long and you don't have any employees in your office. I don't have any office workers. I'm thinking about getting an intern because I don't do my invoicing. So invoices are basically, I have vendors who get their service done, and I have them on a net 30, which means that they have 30 days from the date of the service to pay. It's up to me. Now, most of my vendors are on like a net 90 because that's how long it seems to take for me to get my invoices out. The invoices I have piling up are November, December, and now we're almost halfway through January. I still haven't sent out any of the invoices. These are referred to as my fleet accounts, because they're businesses that I have like an exclusivity with, and they send their work to me. And businesses enjoy net 30s because it helps them with their accounting. Also, they can pay in just one fell swoop rather than having each individual driver paying and then having to reimburse them. And fleets are nice. It's an easy way to grow the business. It's the easiest way. B2B sales are a lot easier than B2C, in my personal opinion. But invoicing is something I need to get better at, so I am thinking about getting an intern, or even if I can find the margin somewhere, I might hire a full-time, maybe social media / invoicing / all of the above type executive assistant type person, because I really need the help in that department, because right now all I'm focused on is growing the business. I need to go to the locations. I need to, I'm playing HR all the time. That's probably the biggest chunk of time for me is the HR aspect. I've got over 10 employees now, and it's tough to, everybody wants to talk to you. Everyone needs you. And so it's just tough sometimes that when you're wearing a million hats and you don't have the margin to hire the people to, to appropriately handle these things when it all comes back to you. And that's kind of that's the choice you make when you want to have this life. But it's interesting because I watch a lot of the Gary Vaynerchuk videos, and Gary talks about when his wine business went from $3 million in revenue to $60 million in revenue, and that had to be like massive expansion. I can't even like, if I had the opportunity to ever talk to him, I would ask him, like, what did that look like? What was that process like? My filter sales, my distribution business has grown from 30,000 annually to we're going to do over 200,000 in 2017 if the pace from the previous quarter grows into this year. I mean, I need a warehouse, but once you lease a warehouse, like, now that money's spoken for. Now I need to make more money so I can hire an office manager, and at that point you're not, either you can just hire someone and hope that it keeps growing, or if you hire someone and then it doesn't keep growing, if you stay at the same level, then you don't have any profit, and if you don't have any profit, what's the point? If it goes down, then you gotta let the guy go, and then you're in trouble, because then you gotta pay the lease. You gotta at least be sure that you're gonna get enough revenue for the lease. But I don't foresee that happening. The online, the eBay, the Amazon, the whole distribution business is really on me completely. I'm the only person that works on it, besides when I have my packages packed by my employees, but I do all the sales, I do all the shipping, I do all the sourcing. So anything that happens with that business is on me, at least until I do hire someone full-time for maybe a warehouse position, if that gets to that point. I moved all of my inventory out of my office because we outgrew my office space and back into my basement, which is actually where I am right now. The only other thing that's going on with the business is I have the 5 stores now, and when you have a proprietary business, or when you buy an existing business, you don't have the luxury of naming the business, and especially if it has a 30-year history. So I'll go through the stores right now. Quick Change in Harrisburg has been Quick Change since 1985. That's 31 years worth of Quick Change. Amerilube in Dillsburg has been Amerilube since 2001. So there's 15 years, 16 years of Amerilube. Payless Express Oil in Chicago has been Payless for the last 25 years. And now this store in Pittsburgh has been called Pennzoil 10-minute oil change for, I actually don't even know when that store opened. But the issues come in. It gets expensive to do branding when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 different locations, different names, buying uniforms for your employees, doing promotions, doing banners, doing anything like that, because you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 designs. The first thing I did with Quick Change was I rebranded Quick Change. I kept the name, but I branded it with my dog Brody. He became kind of the mascot. The problem is you're buying 6 different orders for small quantity items. So say I need to get hoodies, which is a common one, especially come wintertime, especially with the employee turnover in the kind of work that my business is. I'm constantly buying hoodies. If I had if all my stores were the same, then I could buy 20 of them and I would get 20-piece pricing. Now when you buy one for Quick Change, one for Payless, one for Amerilube, now you're getting one quantity pricing, and it gets really expensive and it gets tough. So one thing that now that I have my 5 stores and the footprint is kind of, because you have to consider the possibility. I am pricing in a 10% decrease in revenue for each of my stores if I change the name. Now I think Amerilube's going to have the complete opposite effect, because it's going to signify that ownership has changed, because that store hates the previous owner. But for the rest of the stores, especially Quick Change, which is very well beloved in the community, I think it might not. I think it might have a negative impact, and it might not be so not be fantastic. But that's what you have to account for a loss, and I am building in a 10% loss in revenue with the name change, and I'm going through the process of changing the name right now. And it's a pretty lengthy process. It's not easy. It's not as simple as just changing the name on the Facebook page and then voila. There's paperwork involved. There's tax implications. It's not simple. One thing I'm doing to combat the cost, because I'm only going to be able to change a couple stores at a time. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 years before all of the stores are the same name, and then each store going forward is I do a lot of the branding myself. All the ads are done by me, so that I do all my Facebook advertising, so that's fine. But in terms of the hoodies, the beanies, the t-shirts, the long sleeves, I've gotten into the habit of screen printing them myself, or transferring them, fabric transfers. I use Avery's fabric transfers, inkjet printer. You can do the designs yourself, and so you just print it off on a piece of paper, cut it, take an iron, go over it real good, and then you're good to go. I go to Walmart and I get the hoodies for $6. You know, getting a branded hoodie, if you get one of them, is almost 30 bucks. So maybe on the very cheapest end, if you get a Gildan, maybe 27. Now, if I was getting 20 of them, they would be 10 bucks a piece, and then it would be worthwhile, because this is a pain in the butt. But once these 5 stores have been switched, then going forward it's going to be immensely easier, because I'll just be ordering for all of the stores. And it'll be important to build that brand, because that's important. I think at the end of the day that was the goal anyway. I talk a lot about buying existing businesses, and you know, the one drawback of buying an existing business is you're never going to feel like you built it from the ground up. You're always going to feel like you were kind of handed. Now it's twofold, because pretty much every business I've taken over has been on its way to the trash can, and I've pulled it out. Quick Change was about to be out. Amerilube was out. Amerilube was closed down. Brought it out. So sometimes you can feel as though you've been handed the brand equity, and that you kind of had an unfair advantage. But sometimes it's also the opposite. I'm not too worried about it. Once I make this brand switch, I'm going to feel better about it. It's going to be a really amazing day when I build my first store from the ground up. But until the day comes, I am still pleased with the way I've been able to take these existing businesses and turn them into viable businesses and profitable businesses, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So that's really it for this video. I'll be heading up. I'm actually tomorrow going to Mount St. Mary's to meet up with the dean of the business school, Dr. Einoff, because I'm probably going to be doing some kind of speaking engagement at Mount St. Mary's to talk about entrepreneurship. It's really exciting for me, because I'm not saying the path I want to go is public speaking. I do not have the charisma of a Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't have the same wants as him. But I mean, I do have big goals. I've never publicly talked about why I do what I do. I'm sure I will eventually. I don't know how much I want to at this point. I can tell you right now, it's not owning a professional sports team like a lot of these people that have been putting themselves out there and now copying Gary and trying to replicate what he's doing. I have my own personal goals that I'm trying to achieve and why I'm doing this, that's just me. But until I do feel comfortable talking about that, because it's very personal. Until then, just get after it, keep getting after it, keep growing, keep looking for opportunities. I'm not opposed to buying other businesses. I'm not married to the oil change industry. I'm always looking. If you go to my website, if you go to captainthanasis.com, I am regularly posting businesses for sale that I feel fit the criteria for a business that could be bought with no money. I might start doing a video where I talk about that listing, what is appealing about it, what might be why it could be a zero down business. I think that would actually be, especially once the book comes out, I think that would actually not be a bad idea. And I think that would be interesting for people. I think people would enjoy that. But until then, I'm just going to keep talking about my business, my growth, and documenting and just putting it on the record, what's going on, and all the things that are going on with my business. So until next time, if you have any questions, email me, costa@capogroup.com. If you have any comments, comment in the comment section. If you want to reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, anything, Costa Capo, @Costa Capo, COSTAKAPO. Have a great night, guys.
She say that she a wanderlust, but she ain't seen the world so much to do at 21. You feel invincible, so hard to find someone to trust. She's still a daddy's girl, she wanna be an actress and a singer like Selena. And she a movie buff, but she ain't seen Breakfast at Tiffany's or Breakfast Club. That's just before her time, so hard to keep a conversation when your mind's on vacation. You got pretty green eyes, I can see them dollar signs, girl. Oh yeah, I heard that you addicted to them sands now, girl. Go ahead with your sleepy ass. Go ahead. Shawty, give me a reason. You know that I'm leaving. Give me a reason. You know that I'm leaving. I know how to please you, and I stay in the freezer. It's all that you need, so baby. Perfect. Say she shake it for the Instagram and a Twitter page on YouTube. She's a makeup artist, Hollywood apartment. She's a bartender and a part-time model. All her friends are verified. Wow, man, that's so cool. Wow, girl, can we hang out? Let's take 1,000 pictures like the hype beast now. People saying that we're goals. That's all I